Peps and J-Dog here. It's Tipped Out, the sister podcast of the single greatest AFL podcast. Lace out here to give you your tips for round 6 of the AFL. But before we get into it, massive news this morning is that the round 9 and 10 fixtures have been broadcast by the AFL. And me and the J-Dog, we're going to give our little bits of insights into that before we get our tips. But before we start, once again, I can't do this magnificent show without the co-host with the J-Dog, the Jamie Wallis. How are you, big fella?
I'm very well.
Mate, you are a little bit hyper tonight. Is there something that we need to know? Is Huck's going to bed early tonight and you're a big show? Because you said to me early, the weekend starts on Thursday nights.
Always does. Everyone knows that. Weekend starts Thursdays. You know, Fridays are a write-off for work. Lunches, it's coffee breaks, and about 12 o'clock you start winding it down.
Oh, mate, wind out about 8:30 in the morning, first beer by 9. Hey, listen, can we have a quick chat about round 9 and 10, launched by the AFL early this morning?
Mm-hmm.
The AFL, look, there's a lot of great games to come out of this, but there's a couple of little insights I just want to share with our awesome audience, which is, first and foremost, no Thursday night games on either of these two rounds. I got no idea what they're thinking, but what are we going to do Thursday nights? Because Friday nights is exceptional, we know that. But Thursday nights, whether it's in Perth or whether it's in Adelaide, it's just a different mood. It just sets it off. It's exciting. I love a bit of Thursday night footy, and we're not going to get it for rounds 9 and 10.
Lonely. I miss Thursday nights. I just love Thursday night football. I love that the football starts on Thursday, finishes Sunday, the game to spread out better. We don't have triple headers on a Saturday night. I just like it better.
Oh, no Monday night games. Remember that? Absolute fast. Thursday night works, AFL. Just give it to us, please.
Yep.
Jesus. Can I ask, can I go into something else as well too?
But hang on, you need to pick one rant at a time, Peps. You need to start a rant and then finish the rant. And
there's my rant. That's a disgrace. No Thursday night footy.
Okay, what's your second rant?
All right, here's my second rant. For goodness sake, AFL, what the hell were you thinking? Round 9. Friday, May 14, St Kilda versus Geelong at Marvel Stadium. How the hell does St Kilda get a primetime game after the tripe that they've served up so far this year?
Totally agree. I thought the whole point of having a flexible fixture was to avoid catastrophic mixed matches and crappy games.
And the marquee teams, the ones that are performing, it's an absolute fuss. AFL, I'm convinced they've looked at the 2020 season results, and that's all St Kilda, and put them on because they are shit Kilda. And unless something changes within, 3 weeks, it's going to be an absolute travesty. I remember a couple of years ago, Melbourne played Sydney on a Friday night. I don't know if you remember that. It was the worst game of the year. This potentially could be the worst game of the year.
I reckon North Melbourne should have this.
Oh, give it to North. I'd rather see North play than St Kilda. At least I know that they're crap. St Kilda don't know what's going to turn up. Hey, but let's say there are going to be a couple of ripping games to come out of these couple of rounds. Sydney versus Collingwood at the SCG. That could be exceptional. I reckon the blockbuster Hawthorn versus North at the University of Tasmania Stadium on Saturday.
Battle of the Spoon.
I reckon the battle at the top might be Port versus Western Bulldogs at the Adelaide Oval, 7:10 p.m. Saturday, May 15. I reckon you're going to get a little bit excited for that one. I'm really looking forward to Melbourne versus Carlton at the G at our ceremonial time slot of 3:20 p.m. on a Sunday.
Hang on, Pep, stop you there. Who will get the priority Saturday night game, Richmond Giants or Port Adelaide Western Bulldogs?
I reckon Port versus Western Bulldogs.
Oh, you reckon we're going to get the 7?
But I reckon you won't. I reckon
we're going to get the 7 coverage, you reckon? You should?
You're not going to get the 7 coverage.
Standard.
Because they know, Channel 7 know that their cameras are safe at Marvel Stadium. If they took their expensive cameras over to Adelaide, they might get stolen in transit. We know what they're like over in Adelaide.
It's true.
Round 10, Brisbane versus Richmond at the Gabba could be a prime. You remember it happened last year? Cracking game. That's going to be on the Friday night, so I like that one. Another blockbuster for the Saturday afternoon is Geelong versus Gold Coast at GMHBA. That could be another 186. What else have we got here? Ooh, I'm excited for the blockbuster Collingwood versus Port Adelaide at the MCG. Hope you smash them.
Going to that game.
And, I thought the 3:20 time slot on the Sunday is the worst. I reckon there's even one even shocking than that.
Oh.
Essendon versus North, 4:40. That could be on SBS Channel 3. That's how bad that game's going to be.
And just another thing, on that Saturday night. St Kilda will probably have the priority game on that Saturday night.
Do you remember when even a number of years ago there was AFL games getting outrated by Iron Chef on SBS?
You're saying this could be the year?
That could be the game that gets outrated by rage repeats from Channel 2.
Yep.
That's shocking.
Yep.
That's going to be just don't even watch that one. Save your cameras, KO, or whatever you're doing. All right, let's go into this weekend, mate. Round 6, couple of absolute corkers. We're doing this live on Thursday night because there's no game. How good is it being able to go in and not being able to spoil a game? But, mate, it all kicks off tomorrow night. And if you're not excited for footy, it's simply this. It's going to be round 6 of the AFL.
Peps.
Yes.
This is a round. We should dedicate this round to all things Christopher.
Why is that?
Pep 6, number 6.
Round 6, Pep 6. It's all, and the Pep 6, greatest player at East Keilor Football Club, self-appointed.
And numbers, Melbourne are going for what win in a row?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Yep. And who tore GWS from the Western Bulldogs a new one in the grand final? Tom Boyd. What did he wear?
Number 6.
There we go.
So we're one number higher than the devil. We're
and
6.
And who's the greatest player for GWS? Toby Green. What does he wear? Number 4. 2 away from 6. It's all there. Hey, listen. Tomorrow night, Friday the 23rd of April, 7:20 p.m. These two teams hate the crap out of each other. It goes back, I reckon it even goes back before that iconic, one of the single greatest games you'll ever see, that prelim final from 2016. It's going to be at the Manuka Oval or Manuka Oval, depending whether you're from Adelaide or Melbourne. It's going to be cold as buggery up there. Canberra at this time of year, that's got to be frosty on the agate, so make sure you're wearing your thermals. J-Dog, how do you see this one playing out?
I'm all about a nice podcast, nice, short, sharp. Western Bulldogs are going to tear the Giants a new one.
The Giants.
Yep.
So is the Giants. I'm leaving that one. Look, I'm simply putting it this way. I reckon that GWS will be looking forward to this game big time. Don't know if you've heard, but there's 6 out for the Dogs.
They're resting.
Oh, you reckon they're resting? They're resting their players for finals, are they?
Already.
Okay, so Lipinski, Lewis Young, and Jordan Sweet, who all debuted last week, they are going to be out. Bailey Williams has a collarbone, and Lockie McNeil has been arrested. They've also fallen out as well too. Zane Cordy, Ling Jong will play their first games for the year. Steph Martin's back. Latham Vandermeer, sounds like a character from Seinfeld. And Caleb Demler are all going to be back as well too. The Perryman for the Giants, he's going to be returning from Glench
Lafita. The Perryman, don't even fix a price.
Matthew Flynn is a confirmed starter to replace Shay Mumford in the back. Shay Mumford has to go and have an emergency sausage transfusion, and hopefully he'll be back 1 week later as well.
Will we see my brother? Will we see my brother this week?
Your brother, Jaden Stevenson?
No, Wallis.
Mitch Wallace?
Is he back? Surely he's back this
Mitch
week.
Wallace has hair, you don't. So hopefully not.
It's true.
Look, I think GWS could actually pull a surprise here. The Doggies are due for a loss, all right? They're going to have to lose 1-1 one week. Beveridge says, bring on the violence, bring on the hard stuff. We want it. I reckon, you know what? GWS played magnificently last week against Collingwood. Their tails are going to be up, and they'd have nothing better to knock off the number 1 team at the moment, seeded-wise, on their own paddock up there in Canberra. So I'm going with GWS. It's just something. I've got something in my loins about this one, my friend.
Okay.
All right, let's get into the next one. Hey, Saturday afternoon. Where do you want to start, J-Dog? Saturday, cracking set of games here, 1:45 p.m. Gold Coast versus Sydney. Is there any chance Gold Coast are going to win a game? They've got too many injuries.
Oh, you will say yes because you love you love an injury excuse. I'm a hard man, Peps. 1 in, 1 down, 1 in. That's how it works.
Yep.
No, West Coast are going to make a mess.
We're talking about Gold Coast, Sydney.
Oh, sorry. What am I looking at?
You're looking at Geelong West Coast. That's the next game.
Oh,
can you just tune in?
Hang on. So you've jumped a game.
It doesn't really matter. Who are you going with?
Okay, I'm going with Sydney.
I'm going with Sydney. Sydney should be too strong, even with a few of their players out. I just think Gold Coast, they're just a bit weak at the moment. Not weak in terms of spirit, but they're just weak in skill. But once again, it could be one of those games, anything could happen. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All righty then. Geelong versus West Coast at JMHBA Stadium, Alphabet Park as we know it. Hey, and I tell you what, these are two teams. One needs a win and one needs to win on the road because if they can bank wins on the road, West Coast, it just means that when they play their games at Optus Stadium, they're pushing top four too. So Geelong, Dangerfield's going to be out for a couple of months. So even though he was due to come back, that's going to be a bit of a stinger at the moment. Geelong are outscoring West Coast at the moment, averaging 10 goals to 8.5. But West Coast are definitely having more scoring shots. So they're just not effective in front of the big sticks. Cameron's going to play his first game of the year. West Coast don't travel too badly. But are they going to be able to pull out the big game at GMH? BA J-Dog, your thoughts?
Did you know that a truck has hit Montague Street Bridge?
No.
I'm just reading about it now. Sorry, that's why I was distracted before. I can't believe they've hit the Montague Street Bridge.
That's as rare as us hearing about Scott Pendlebury's basketball background or that Ben Simmons knows Christian.
There are so many things before the Montague Street Bridge. If you've got a big truck, you're going to whack into these big flappy things, the dongle things.
There's these big flaps before the bridge. If you hit one of those, it lets you know.
Sorry, I'm just distracted because I cannot believe
he must have had WAP going on in the cabin and got totally distracted.
I'm just anyway, sorry, I'm back on track, Peps. I'm back in the podcast. I'm back in the room. And you're back in the room. Okay, so
Geelong have a good record against West Coast recently.
They do. They do.
7 out of their last 10. So it's,
I'm going to go the Cats because the Cats play GMHBA exceptionally well, as they should. It's their home ground.
And if it's cold, they're going to get frostbite as well too. And I hope Isaac Smith has an absolute blinder. And good luck to Jeremy Cameron. I hope you kick a bag too, my friend.
Yep.
All right, next one. After that, we are kicking into Carlton versus the Brisbane Lions at Marvel Stadium. Carlton's home deck. Brisbane has spent many weeks down there. It might as well be their home deck as well too. Can I just say it? Carlton are going to get pumped. Danaher's going to kick 5+ here.
Peps.
Guaranteed. Put your house on it.
Yep. Peps, obviously someone at Carlton must listen to you and I because they took our advice. They took our advice about our Carlton rant on a Tuesday night. We spoke about how Teague needs support.
Yep.
What do they get?
What?
They get Woosha.
Who?
Woosha.
Woosha's going down to Carlton, is he?
He is.
How did Woosha's last stint as a coach go?
Doesn't matter, Peps. They've got an extra coach there. Like I said, they need a senior coach there. They've got a senior coach there, Peps.
Mate,
anyway.
He's just doing it for the sheets. Let's be honest. He's just doing it for the sheets.
Can you blame him?
Right. Probably not. I'm going with Brisbane.
Brisbane, by a lot or by a little?
Oh, shitload, 40+.
Yeah.
We're pretty good with the 40+. I reckon they are due. Carlton are due for a good old hiding. And Brisbane are due to break out because they've been pretty average so far this year. They're due. And Joey Danaher and Hipwood, if Hipwood's playing, there's probably 7 between them, minimum.
7 outs on the Fools.
No, that's 6 on the full. 1 hit the point post. And 7 goals between them.
Lock in for a weird bet. Brisbane to kick greater than 15 behinds.
I reckon they'll kick 15-15. Come back to Lace Out next week. I tipped out and checked that one out. Rightio, next one. Freo versus
Brisbane by me.
Yeah, Brisbane by me. All right, Freo versus North Optus Stadium. It's also going to be an afternoon game, mind you. Over in Victoria, it's evening. So that's going to be 6:10 Western Australian Western Standard Time, making that 8:30 over here on the proper side of the world. Fremantle by the length of the Flemington Strait. This could very much get ugly. And Freo aren't playing too bad football. They're just sitting outside the 8 at the moment, and they're prime, and their midfields are looking sexy. Fife is awesome. Mundy is playing some great football at the moment. You've got the boys we've spoken about, Brayshaw, Chera, Young, Tabernar.
Yeah.
They're going to be too strong. North, just show me something, please. Give your supporters something to hang on, because I really – look, if they do win, I really want to see the footage of those people sitting around the dinner table singing Ruse, Ruse, Ruse. Remember the Ruse, Ruse, Ruse? I want to hear Kanga, Ruse, Kanga, Ruse, Kanga, 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 Ruse, Ruse, Ruse. I can't wait for that to come. That should be their new theme song.
Oh, classic. I'm the same. Just show something.
Okay, let's talk about the game that everybody is getting massively excited for. It is Saturday night, 7:25 Australian Eastern Standard Time. The Melbourne Demons versus Richmond. The Anzac Eve game, which started probably maybe 5 or so years ago, 5-6 years ago, and has just grown. It is exceptional. If you can get a chance, sneak down there. Tomorrow, apparently, the government is going to be opening up the number of people to be able to go to the MCG. There is nothing like seeing 90,000 people silent as the last post is played, not a light being shone. It is. I thought Anzac Day was, spine chilling. That is even better. So if you can get down there, it's going to be a cracker game. Nate Jones plays his 300th. Dusty's playing his 250th. You've got a team that is playing out of their skins at the moment, and you've got a team that is they're reliable. They are just reliable. They're like the Toyota Hilux of the AFL. No matter what happens, they'll be able to start, turn up, and be able to deliver. My heart says Melbourne. My brain says Richmond, because I can trust one and I can't trust the other. So I want to go with the D's because I want them to show something on the big stage. I just know Richmond are just a lot more reliable. So I want to go with the D's, but at the moment, I think I'm just going to go with Richmond, which is hard for me to swallow. I'd love a draw. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Richmond plus 40.
Are you taking the P1SS on me?
I reckon you guys are going to get stage fright. Like you guys are at the trough next to that big man, and you're just standing there going, "Please, let something out." We've all been there. You guys are going to get stage fright so bad.
Well, they've won 6. They've won their last 6 against us. The last time Melbourne defeated Richmond,
back in Jeff Keesham days.
Well, basically 2016. I was at that game too. That was when Jack Viney had 37, Jeff Gullard had 4. And if you remember, I've got a feeling that was the game where Rance pushed Jack Watts' head into the ground because he tore him a new one. Yeah, and then the time before that, I think, it was when Hogues just turned it on as well too. But
hey, look, Peps.
No, let's be honest, mate. Are you literally thinking that the D's are going to get pumped by 40?
I'm saying it could happen. Absolutely.
No, it won't happen that much. No.
Peps, you know what though? Great opportunity, because here I'm one of them. I think Melbourne are at the moment fake pretenders. This, either way, we'll see a great chance to see where Melbourne are at.
I love the way you go fake pretenders. Well, look, you know what? We'll just come back to tip. We'll come back to lace out next week, and the lid is either going to be blown completely off.
Oh, I hope it is.
I told you so. All right.
I hope it is, Peps. I'm telling you, as a mate to mate, I hope it is, because I know you've been.
If Melbourne win, get ready for the video. That's all I'm saying. The after game video will be. I've held back, but I'll be launching it on the Facebook page. All right. Let's get on to Sunday. All right. Hawthorn versus Adelaide down at UTAS Stadium in Hobart. Do you really care about who's going to win this one?
Not a whole lot.
Nah. Hawthorn. No, I'll go Adelaide. I'm actually going to go Adelaide with this one.
Yeah, stuff Hawthorn. Stuff them.
Hawthorn are going to be scarred by the absolute smacking they got by the D's last week. Hey, Anzac Day. Collingwood versus. Is this the, after what these two teams have served up so far this year, could anybody care less about this Anzac Day game?
Ooh, Peps, this is a spicy topic that you should have maybe come with on Tuesday night.
No, but I'm just looking at it now, and they keep talking about how other clubs should get their games taken off them because of the lack of performance. These two teams are an embarrassment at the moment. Essendon not as much, but Collingwood, my goodness. And if you had a look at the two jumpers, talk about clash jumpers. Like it's just black on black. AFL, get some testicular fortitude and finally make a call on clash jumpers. Just because it's the Anzac Day game, it's not good enough. Like if Richmond have to wear a clash jumper on grand final day against what Adelaide have served up, one of these two teams had to have worn one. But once again, big clubs don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. That saying, Essendon will win this. Essendon will win this. Out of the two teams, no De Goey, no Howe, no chance, Essendon.
Oh, I forgot about them being out. Yeah, Essendon by a bit. In terms of what your statement you made, I think no matter where this game is played in terms of where these two clubs are on the ladder, I think it's always going to be a cracker. It's the biggest game outside the grand final.
No, it's not the biggest game.
Yes, it is.
No,
it is.
Not. No, it's not.
Pack G.
Okay, I'll ask you a question.
Okay, ask me.
Which game are you more excited to watch? A Hawthorn Geelong Easter Monday game or this game? Take out the Anzac factor out of it. And
that's taking the whole game
hold
out
on.
of it.
No. See, that's the thing. You're going for the ceremony and not the actual quality of the game itself. That's why this game at the moment is not going to be the ceremony and the whole Anzac thing, which I totally respect. And, for everybody who sacrificed themselves for this great country, we thank you very much. But at the moment, quality-wise, this could get it's not going to be that good. They'll pump it up more than it needs to be.
I think it's always going to be a great day because of the event. It's not just about the game, it's about the event. And I think the whole day is amazing.
No, quality of football will be putrid. Essendon will win this. Right, last game of the year. Last game of the night. And by the way, last game of the night. It's good to see that you guys got the graveyard slot this week. 6:10 over at the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide versus Shit Kilda.
I've been giving you shit all year about it, and we get the 6:40 Sunday night.
They've even put you on because people are going to be watching the news. They're not going to watch this.
Hey, tomorrow, the next day, for every other state other than Victoria, it's a public holiday. It's just that we don't get it.
Oh, well, fair enough. So that's why it's at 6:10.
Yes.
Port Adelaide 40+, Dixon to kick 6. Ollie Wines to have 30+, and Boak to pull 3 Brownlow votes. That's all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen.
And Hill, and tell me how Hill's going to go, please, Peps.
Who?
Bradley Hill.
Who? Yeah, apparently I've just heard he's going to be sponsored by Apple. And what they're going to do is they're going to put one of those brand new Apple tags in his jumper because when he gets lost, they'll actually be able to find him on the ground. So he won't get a kick, mate. If he can't get a kick against some of the tripe that's been running around, he will not get a kick against Port Adelaide.
Peps, I got some sad news for you.
What's that?
The new cult hero, Lockie Jones, with the big mo and the big mullet.
Yep.
Out for 4 weeks. Having surgery.
What, mustache transplant, haircut?
Unfortunately not. Ankle
I like the guy.
You like him. You like.
But you know who's going to be taking his spot? Big bad Charlie Dixon. He's going to get angry.
Oh, you reckon Charlie's going to make this game?
Oh, Charlie. Charlie's just a beast. I love Charlie. All right. So there's your round 6 games. Tipped out style, Peps and J-Dog. Couple of things just to remember. If you're looking for a brand new footy, get onto the Sharon website, type in Lace Out at the checkout, get 30% off a new pill. Our listener survey will be coming out. There will be an audio announcement and a link in the show notes. Not tonight. Don't get too excited. But we want your feedback because we want to be the best non-club podcast. Actually, just number one AFL podcast. People who speak from the heart and not from behind a keyboard. We're going to tell you how it is. And more importantly, Tuesday night, it's Lace Out. It's the big dog. That's the one we're all tuning in for. So, J-Dog, I hope your team wins on the weekend. I hope my team wins on the weekend. I hope all your teams win on the weekend, except for Richmond. And more importantly, J-Dog, how do you want your footy tips each and every week?
I want it tipped out. Peps.
Awesome. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday. Good luck to you all.
See you, listeners.
How the days.